Hello everyone and welcome back. This is a little longer than I thought it was going to be. It's only 6 steps, but there's quite a few movements to it. So um, I'll show you just a little bit of the hieroglyphics. This is my really quick shorthand. I have 2 pages of that. And what I'm going to do first, for my sanity especially, I'm going to read it because it's all just like code words and stuff. I will do my best to narrate it to you by narrating it to myself first. We'll do a read through before we then go into the activation of it. Now, it's called the Nomia Flame Triangulation Initiation. We don't have pictures or anything for this yet, but they're asking us to visualize a couple of things. You don't have to be good at visualizing. You can just visualize a circle to represent the things I'm going to talk about. Now, on your right side, this is my right side, on your right side, imagine way, way, way up there in the cosmos, there is the M33 Triangulum galaxy. That's on your right side. It is connected to the transposition passage, the M33 Triangulum transposition passage that comes down on your right, and that is an outgoing frequency passage. The next thing, so you just keep in mind a circle up there that represents M33 Triangulum, and that's outgoing energy. And over on your left side, this is my left, and on your left, there will be the M31 Andromeda galaxy, and that's connected to the M31 Emancipation passage, and that's the incoming frequency passage from M31 Andromeda. Now, with those two circles visualized way up there over your head, then imagine too, we know our Earth core Nomi seed. What we're going to do through these steps that I'll narrate in a minute, we're going to create a breathing pattern. That is the Nomia Flame Triangulation Initiation. It's the first part of this integrated breathing pattern, and it involves creating a triangulation of breath. By the end of this, when we get through these several things, moving this there and that in the other place, you'll end up breathing and inhale up to Triangulum, exhale over to M31 Andromeda, and then inhale down, bringing it down from M31, and it creates a triangulation of breathing. That's the first stage in what we'll be working on with the Nomia Flame activation that will eventually open the Trentian window and, the next level of all of those things that have to do with the Yearly Conservatory. So, what they've explained to me first is, since it's in hieroglyphics with not like normal sentences, I will try to put the normal sentences on to just narrate for both of us what we do before we try to do it. Okay, so first, we're going to have our attention at the heart of Ephema point. We're going to inhale energy into that, just air, energy, breath. And then we're going to exhale down to the Nomi seed and earth core. And then we're going to pause there at the bottom of the exhale. Next, step 2, we're going to inhale up from the Nomi seed, and here's where it gets interesting. We're going to inhale up from the Nomi seed to the right side of the body, up through the heart of Ephema, up through the Azare, and then we're going to put our arm up and up through the arm, and then we're going to exhale and blow a blue spark of energy up from our palm into M33 Triangulum. So, yeah. Hold on, I'm looking at it now. What do we do? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we inhale up from, I'm just making sure I have the words right. Inhale up from the Nomi seed on the right side of the body. Lift the right arm and hand up and pop a blue transposition spark in the right palm. And then we can pause to breathe there. So we have a blue spark at this point in our right hand is a transposition spark from the transposition passage that runs on our right. Then we can pause and breathe. And step 3 is we're going to inhale, I think our arm's still up there, inhale into the heart of Ephema again. Then we're going to exhale and pop up through the right arm and palm, pushing the blue transposition spark up to M33 triangulum to open the outgoing transposition passage. So as we do that, we push the blue spark that we'd made before all the way up to the image of triangulum that we're holding in our imagination. And that will open the outgoing flow from our body and our nomi seed to triangulum. Okay? And from there, we can bring our arm back down, and then we can just breathe to relax a little bit. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our attention back up to M33 triangulum and the blue transposition spark that we left up there. So we're just going to pay attention that that's up there. Then our action is we're going to inhale into the heart of Ephema, and then we're going to exhale up and to the right. So we're going to inhale into the heart of Ephema, and then exhale up and to the right. Transposition passage all the way up to the M33 triangulum image. Then use the end of the exhale to push the blue spark from M33 triangulum horizontally across to your left and to the M31 Andromeda pink emancipation passage. So we're going, yeah, I'll read that one in. Your attention is going to be back up on the M33 triangulum and the blue spark that we sent up there. We're going to inhale into the heart of Ephema, exhale up into the right transposition passage, up to M33 triangulum, then the end of the exhale, we're going to push the blue spark over horizontally to M31 Andromeda on the left. Then we can breathe easily for a minute with our attention there. Okay, so now we'll have our attention on the M31 pink emancipation passage, which is the incoming downward passage. So we can breathe a little bit to relax on that one. M31 on the left. I'm just reading my hieroglyphics here. Okay, and then for the last step, we're going to inhale, but into the M31 Andromeda, just picture it as a circle, on your left image, the pink image. So you're like literally inhaling into that up there. I'm going to hold to build charge for a second. Then we're going to exhale a pink spark, emancipation spark, down from 31 into your left palm. So you put your left palm up to catch it. And then down to the heart of Ephema, and down into Earth's Nomi seed. And then breathe for a minute. Then there's going to be simple cyclic breathing, the triangulation breathing, where you'll inhale up from your Nomi seed at Earth's core. You'll inhale up to the right, exhale over to the left, and inhale down to bring the frequency down back into the Earth core Nomi seed. So it's literally creating a triangulation of breath around you. So then that's narrating it. So now let's try to do it. And we had some interesting activations with this. As this was coming in, and I was just getting this catching the wave and getting the scribbles down, and starting to activate in me. And we all ended up yawning, getting the really big yawning waves and stuff, and then the eyes are watering and the ears are plugging, and yeah, that whole thing. So if you get any weird effects like that, that's kind of normal. It's the activation that we've had these a lot of times. But it's usually a pretty strong one when it kicks up. I call it kicking up the face. Your eyes, ears, yawns, all of that. And the only thing we almost got but didn't was the giggle wave, thankfully, for all of us. I have a little bit of sorry about the coughing. Okay, now. Okay. On the right, we have, imagine a blue circle that is the M33 Triangulum galaxy. On the left, imagine a pink circle that is the M31 Andromeda galaxy. On the right is the outgoing current. On the left is the incoming current. Okay. Step 1. Inhale into the heart of a FEMA point. Then exhale down to your Nomi-seated earth core. Pause at the end of the exhale and just breathe. And on the next exhale, step 2, inhale upward from the Nomi seed up to the right side of your body. Lift your right arm and hand up and pop a blue transposition spark into your right palm. You can breathe just a little bit. Try to feel it, a little fuzzy spark in there, blue spark. Okay, step 3. We're going to inhale into the heart of a FEMA again. And then exhale, pop up through the right arm and palm, pushing the blue transposition spark up to the M33 triangulum. To open the outgoing transposition passage flows to M33 triangulum. You can bring your arm down now and breathe. Step 4. Let us put our attention back up to the M33 triangulum blue spark up on our right. We're going to inhale into the heart of a FEMA point. Then exhale up into the right transposition passage. Up to M33 image. And at the end of the exhale, you're going to use the end of it to make a line of energy between the right side and the pink M31 on the left side. And then you can just breathe normally. So at that end of the exhale, when you make that horizontal line of energy across, you use the blue spark from there, push it over to make the line of energy across. Okay. So just breathe for a moment with your attention on the spark in the M31 at the left. And we're going to get ready to create a pink spark in a minute. So now, again, we're going to inhale, but this time we're going to inhale into the M31 Andromeda image, the pink circle up there. I'm going to hold to build charge for a second. And then we're going to exhale a pink emancipation spark down from M31 and into your left palm. Put the left palm up. Exhale it down into your left palm. And then you can take that hand and bring it down through the heart of a FEMA point and down into Earth's core Nomi seed. Try to sense the energy triangulation around you between your... Before, we've done the breathing where we have the passages, but they're running pure vertically. At this point, they're running like a triangle, where this one's slanting that way. Then you have the way up there. You have the flat one, the horizontal one going across. And then this one's slanting down this way. So instead of the two pillars doing this way and breathing like this, we're now doing this breathing triangulation thing from literally the Earth core Nomi seed. So you can put your attention on the Earth core Nomi seed, and then inhale up through that passage. You don't have to put your arms up. I'm just using it to illustrate. So you Earth core Nomi seed, inhale up, exhale over, and inhale down and bring it down to Earth core Nomi seed. So Inhale up, exhale over, inhale down. So it's almost like inhale up, push, exhale over, and then inhale down, pull. So it's push, over, pull, push, over, pull. Out, across, in. Okay? Out, across, in. Right, across, left. So that's the triangulation breath. They're going to teach us how to do more with that, including working with the wind of the breath and the breath on the wind as we move forward through the through the next passages, workshop things. So I hope you've enjoyed that activation. We're all kind of like, wow, that was intense on this end. I don't know if you're feeling it yet, but you probably will. And when you go to sleep, if you're not already, because I'm not sure who's watching it from what part of the planet at the moment, but when you go to sleep next, try to remember just this simply. You don't have to remember all of the steps to that. If you can just remember, put your attention at the earth core Nomi seed. Then inhale diagonally up to your right. Exhale across towards your left on a horizontal plane. And then inhale down from your left. Down to the Nomi seed again. So if you can remember to do that and try to, there's a feel to it. We have to work on it too because we were just given this. So like all of us that are here in the room, this is like, okay, it's a new pattern to learn for breathing. But it's interesting. And if you just try to work on it gently, as like before you're going to sleep and that kind of thing for a few nights. And you can practice it in the day too if you want to, whenever you have time. But eventually, and they're saying the usual kind of like when you're doing any kind of building neurological structure and those kind of things, it usually takes about 21 days for it to become an automatic pattern. So that's like 3 weeks to where it'll kick in and you'll just go, oh, triangle breathing, and it'll just do its thing. So this is the beginning of the next part of the adventure. I do hope you'll join us for the Hostmasters, Starlighting and the Music of the Spheres workshops coming up. We'll let you know very soon of when the registration will be open for the Heath Arrow one at the end of May. And what the more of what that's going to be about. We'll put up a kind of itinerary kind of thing for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this journey with us, this journey of Hostmasters Return to Amente. We have Return to Amente. We have our connection now to our sphere of Amente and the absolute protectorate of the Anastasia Passage and the Aurora platforms. And we wish you peace, health, and happiness in this world right now. It is a bit sad, the things that are happening in the world. And this is kind of a repeat of, it's the Atlantean conspiracy final conflict drama, again, as they mentioned in Voyagers. Each of the seedings went this way, so this is going that way too. It's important that we stay positive, even though it looks like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, the things that are happening. Sometimes we'll work on those concepts more when we work with the next upcoming workshops, with the Hostmasters workshops, of finding the peaceful mind, the meta mind, the loving kindness mind, where you can, even though things are sad on the ground, you can move above that, where you still care, but you don't get destroyed by it, where you can hold your peace inside and learn to hold your strength and anchor your strength inside, regardless of what's happening around you. And that's not easy. I've been through a lot, and I haven't lived in a country where bombs are flying and that kind of thing. Well, also, somewhere interwoven within the Hostmasters Starlighting series, we will also be looking at the Law of One and what that really means. We've mentioned that. I mean, the Guardian material has always been built on the Law of One. And there's information out there about what that is, but the Guardians have their own perspective on what that is and the scale of what that is and how that translates into life here. Part of the problem on this planet has always been, in this 3 seedings, was most of the population has forgotten that we are all part of the eternal cosmoverse. And if you hurt one, you hurt yourself. If you hurt a planet, you hurt yourself and everything on it. We have not learned to cooperate. We've forgotten how to cooperate on this planet. And all we've learned to do is compete over and over and over again. And that's what brings us to these states of being in which bombs are flying, and we are in the opening acts of World War III. Hopefully that can be calmed down a bit. Eventually it will happen, because it's part of the destiny that so many groups have been trying to make happen. If everybody decided they didn't want it to happen, it could be changed, because nothing is set in stone until it's set so close that you can't change the energy pattern. But there are huge groups of people on this planet right now that very, very much want World War III, because it'll bring the end times, because it'll bring Armageddon, which will bring Jesus back, or bring the new Messiah for the other group. There's people who are intentionally trying to create World War III. They do not care about the population here. They do not care about taking care of people. These are the dark flowers, and they have a demonic agenda, because a long time ago they lost their ability for re-evolutionary rise reconnection. And they don't actually want it. They just want to take the life force from other things to keep themselves going. So, please take heart. And even though it's scary out there right now, there are ways to learn to hold yourself in peace, even in the craziest things going on. The Guardians will work with us as we move forward on how to find that peace within ourselves and how to grow, because it will require growing our emotional bodies, growing our mental bodies, to understand that it's okay. It doesn't mean it's good, but it's okay. And this is how eternal stays eternal. When the polarities hit certain extremes, they will work themselves out through conflict, through battle, and part will ascend and the other part will space dust. And that's just the process of evolution and eternal evolution. So it just really sucks to see it on the ground, put it bluntly. So, on a happier note, where we put our thoughts is where we will first experience. Even if you're in a horrible, horrible place, you can really, if you realized that your thoughts literally translate through your body, through your chemicals, through your neurons, into an out picturing that plugs in to the mass situation. You can't stop a war by saying, I won't believe in war, but you can move yourself out of its direct harm's way by focusing on the love within you, the love with vertical, this peace. You can bring that peace to yourself, which will shift your frequency. It's about shifting your frequency out of the danger range. And that's what our courses are about, and that's what a lot of things are about. There's all sorts of good teachings out there in certain ways. Certain Buddhist teachings are fine for that. They'll help you with that. One of the authors that I have always respected very much, and actually love her stuff, she's no longer with us on planet now, but if you want help, you want to help yourself with the 3D stuff that gets you tied in knots that holds your frequency down. And it's not like about, big stars and Star Wars and all those, but she's very practical, and she has some of the best affirmation programs I've ever heard, and she holds a really good frequency with those affirmation programs. And you've probably heard of her if you've been into affirmations at all, and it's Louise Hay. I just respect her so very much, and she passed, I think, in 2017, but her work is still out there. You can find a lot of it on YouTube, and she has a publishing house, Hay House, I believe. So if you want to work on the 3D stuff that gets in your way, and the fear and the I'm not worthy, and the world is terrible, all of that, it'll help you shift those subconscious patterns. So I do highly recommend her things, and I don't get any kickbacks or anything from that. But I use that to help myself sometimes. So I just wanted to share that with you. So for now, I will stop blabbing and remember our breath, our triangulation breath. And hope to see you again soon in May. And we'll let you know as soon as we know when registrations will open on the Bright Flower Studios, because from this point forward, any of the work that we do will be through Bright Flower Studios, not through Erase Productions. Erase Productions stops here, and we'll be because we've moved. So we're going to be, closing that company in a while and, shifting over to Bright Flower Studios in Ireland. So thank you, and may peace and love be with you. Good night.